This is Cloud Supply by Native Instrument. It is part of the Play series. It's a Kontakt library, and they kind of label this as a trap or a hip hop lead kind of library, but definitely it can do pretty much anything. And the Play series is very interesting because it looks simple, and you have two sounds, you're blending them together. The user interface is, fairly simple. You have the macros on the bottom, and you can play with that. But then if you dive in, you'll see that you have a lot more, and there's a lot for you to do. And let's get started, and I'll show you what's inside. Okay, so this is Cloud Supply, and as you can see, we have the left side, the right side. We have A and B. You can load the samples or the presets into A or B, and you can just select them here. So let's just try something. I'm gonna play this one. So this is now designated as A. If you go to B and select something else, you'll see the little B here. Close that, and you can listen. So this particular preset that I chose has a sequencer running, and you can stop the sequencer right here. Or if we select whatever preset that doesn't have a sequencer in it, so let's try something. Yeah, this one looks good. So now we can, again, load stuff into A and B, and if you want to get A or B out of the way, pretty simple, just click the letter, and now nothing plays. You can have just B. And some of the presets have the A side or the A sample mapped to part of your keyboard, while the B is mapped to another, and they might overlap, or they can overlap entirely. So right now, if you have, for example, complete control keyboard, you'll see the LEDs are showing you which is which, and you'll see a red and a blue or a yellow for the combined or the overlapping. So how can you do that, or what can you do other than select the presets or the samples for A and B? Well, first of all, you have the macros down here. So we have the balance between A and B. That's the balance, the blending between them. That's very important. And we also have the overall volume. Then we have the macros. And I'll show you how you can map those macros, how you can handle that in a moment. But right now, again, you can map this, of course, to your MIDI controller, or if you have complete control, then obviously you have that already mapped. And here, for example, in this preset, we have a cut of resonance, we have warmth, whatever that is. I mean, it really depends on the preset. So if I'll select another preset, I'll have a different set of macros here, and I'll show you that. So let's play something, and then we'll get down to the actual details under the hood. Cool, and let's select something else. Right, so let's have a quick look at the sound menu. So right at the top, we have the sound, effect, sequencer, macros, and some settings. So let's start with the sound. And here again, we have the split here between A and B, and you can lock them together. And if we'll have a look at A, you can see this is the layer A. You can turn it on and off. You can transpose it. You can have some effects here, like bit reduction, you have crush, noise, and color. And you also have tuning, panning, and volume for this particular layer. And you can also browse right from here. So I can do the browsing from here as well. Let's close that. So this is pretty cool. And then we have a filter. We can turn it on and off. And of course, all these effects here can be turned on and off. And we have this filter here. And depending on the type of filter, we have lots of choices here. So if you select the low pass here, you'll see that you also have gain sort of drive inside that filter. And I'm not going into the details, what is ladder and so on, but you can check that. And then I have a couple of things that are important here. So first of all, we have the LFOs and we have the envelopes here. So the LFOs can be used to manipulate, can be used to change the way some of the parameters work. And you can do that through the modulation area here. So if you don't know a lot about synthesis and you're not sure what is an LFO, you're not sure what is an envelope, you need that information. Check my channel for that. I have lots of tutorials covering synthesis basics. But if you know something about this, then you'll appreciate the idea here. And the modulation routing is pretty simple. For example, when I click the LFO here, then I can actually see those little sliders here. And when I'm for example, I'll get this up here, then the LFO will affect the tuning as it goes. So LFO, low frequency oscillator, and you can change the rate here in hertz or in parts. So you can have, I don't know, 32s or 30 seconds, of course, and 16ths, and so on. So let's try and see how that works. All right, so this is how it sounds. Now, let's close that. So this is the layer setup or the sound setup. So you already can appreciate that this is more than enough for you to kind of shape the sounds. Even if you start off with some preset, you're good to go here with a lot of options. Then we have the effects. So we have sort of an effects chain here. We have an EQ. And when you're clicking any of these slots here, you'll see the specific effect controls. So if you click the EQ, then you'll see the EQ, of course. You see the low frequencies, mid, highs, and so on. So everything is laid out here. And then you have some slots that you can turn on and off. And for example, here I can just put a wah or a lo-fi, whatever you want here. So let's just select something. And then I can just put this here. So this is the effect chain, and you can create your own, or you can change that as you wish. And you have a little menu here, and you can save the this preset, and you can load either the specific preset or the chain. So pretty cool. And of course, you can initialize the unit and the chain. So the unit is the slot itself, and the chain is the entire effect chain. And you can load your own chains into any preset. Let's go on. So that was already pretty cool. And we have a sequencer. So the sequencer is pretty, again, it's a simple sequencer, but very nice. And what we have, first of all, we have the number of steps. I'll just begin with the number of steps, so you can have this. Let's start with something. I'll turn it on, and you can see the number of steps, and then I can change the pitch here. And we have velocities. We can add more steps. Now, what we can also do is we can change the rate. So you can go faster or slower. You can have triplets, can have swing, and some other stuff. But what I like really is the scale. So right now it's set to C minor. You can set this to whatever scale or mode you want. So this is now going on C major. So let's start with the root. And you'll see that you're just locked to that scale. Let's select some other preset just for fun. And again, I can turn this on. Now, one interesting thing that we have here is that we can have this sequencer going on, running on A layer or B or both of them. And you can do this simply with this layer routing. And we can also scale by velocity. So it's velocity sensitive, and we also have the direction. So this knob here will give you the direction. So this is very useful. So we can go forward and then backwards. And we can do all kinds of stuff. And we also have a gate. So that was the sequencer. I like it, pretty cool, very useful. Let's close that. And then we also have macros. So the macros are those controls at the bottom here. You see cutoff, resonance, warps, and so on. And it is basically sort of a control over a bunch of other parameters. So let's go for a second. Let's go back to the main here, and then we'll go to, for example, to the effects, or to the sound, even better. So you can see these little dots here, these colored dots. This means that this control, for example, the crash is mapped to this crash macro, right? So if I'll go to the macros and I'll have a look at the crash, I'll see that we have layer A and B mapped here. But if I want this crash thing to affect something else, it's again very simple here. So what you need to do is you need to click that little light here, and now it's blinking. And while it's blinking, you can select whatever, for example, the noise. So now this is assigned also to the crash macro here, and I can also adjust the range. So if I'll play with that, you'll see now both of these guys here, the crash and the noise, are linked together. So that's the idea here behind the macros. I hope you know, you can appreciate the power of this, how simple it is. Let's select some other preset. So that was the macros. Let's go back to the macros just for a little bit more. So we can also affect the overall macro effect here, the range of its effect, and in particular this crash that we are right now selected here. And we also have some kind of a way for us to control that as we go. So very interesting. So explore that. I'll leave that for you to explore. And if you have any questions, let me know. Just leave a comment. Just have fun here. So you can map other parameters, other things to existing macros here. And that's really powerful. So, and eventually, the settings here, this is pretty cool as well. So again, we have the A side, the B side. We can select the sample, the preset here. And we can also say if this is a mono and legato. And we can set the low key and the high key. So if you have a keyboard and you want to have the A side mapped to some keys and the B side to other keys, this is what you do. I mean, you can do something like that, and you can set the keyboard. If you have the complete control, then you'll see the lights go here, and then I can go to the B side and change the lights here again, sorry, the mapping, and that's the idea. So you can split your keyboard. Very interesting. And you can also set the velocity curve here and some other stuff. So that's basically Cloud Supply. That's the technical kind of overview. So if you're wondering how to use this other than just loading the preset, I hope this helps. And so let's finish up with some of the presets. I'll just select some of the presets. You can listen, or you can go to Native Instruments website and listen to some good examples there. That's it for now. So I'll see you in the next video, and leave a comment if you have any question or at all, anything at all. Just say hello, and yeah, thank you so much. Bye bye.